It's race time. Unlimited Heat 1A of the Albert Lee Cup at Seafair. And here are the boats in Heat 1A. The Oh Boy Alberto does not draw the Qatar, so this is one that Steve David might be able to run with, but you got to watch out for that Beacon Plumbing and the old cagey guy driver in the 57, Mark Evans in the Mr. Julio.
Heat 1A of the Albert Lee Cup is brought to you by GE. Imagination at work. Available at Albert Lee Appliance. Over 7 decades.
There you see the starter clock with 1:57 left on that starter clock. Brought to you by J.P. Morgan Chase, a proud sponsor of Seafair. Chase, making it easy for your personal and business banking needs to start and run strong. And the conditions on Lake Washington are a bit on the choppy side, as you can see. They've been churning it up out there, Chip Hanauer and Pat O'Day. It looks like everybody is going to try to troll into that corner, as we cannot pass the exit pin of the lower corner until right at 1 minute even.
Well, someone may be chasing the Alberto, and that would be J. Michael Kelly from Bonnie Lake, Washington, to the Beacon Plumbing.
And the Oh Boy Alberto should be the class of this particular fleet, but do not necessarily guarantee that, because there are a few who would like to be chasing him down. And you see some of them. This particular one, the Beacon Plumbing that you mentioned, J. Michael Kelly, is overdue. All right, they're coming up to this start line now. We hit 1 minute even, and it looks as though we're okay, at least from our vantage point. And inside, moving up is the Beacon Plumbing. That is the aforementioned J. Michael Kelly. On the outside and kind of keeping his nose clean back in about the 3 lane is the Oh Boy Alberto. And Chip, he has boat speed on these guys, and so he really doesn't have to mix it up at this point.
He does, but J. Michael Kelly, the boat on the inside, the white and light blue boat, that kid's a phenomenal driver. If I was his owner, I'd say, don't race him. Let him go. This is an elimination heat. Don't press the clock. Let's just get to the final. But J. Michael, he's a racer. I think he's going to go after him.
Yeah, he's a thoroughbred, no doubt about it. Okay, they arched the corner now. Here's the second timing issue interval that we need. 17 seconds away from the start-finish line on this front straightaway. Nobody can be over that line too soon, or they will incur a 1-lap penalty. And coming down now is the Albert Lee in the 2 lane. Brian Perkins kind of leading them, but here comes the Oh Boy Alberto, and he nails this start. Perfect start for Steve David from the 3 lane as he comes roaring down into that first corner, and obviously has immediate horsepower to beat them all into the corner, Chip.
J. Michael Kelly on the inside did a great job getting the inside, but he was late at the start. But that short way around, he's going to come up awful close to Steve David halfway up this back chute.
And we'll see what kind of speed he can get out of this, so that Steve David has to take a wider track. But Steve has almost got enough space to be able to come over at this point, but there's a good challenge on the outside from J. Michael. J. Michael's not the only one in this one in the race for second and third, as we arc into turn number 2 for the first time on lap number 1, and we have Steve David keeping a pretty wide stance on that. Gives J. Michael plenty of room to get around. And just outside of J. Michael, you see that white boat. That's the 9 boat, and that boat has been running strong. Also, that's John Zimmerman as they come to whipping down to the start-finish line. It looks like he's going to cross the start-finish line ahead in third place now over the likes of Brian Perkins in the Albert Lee. Back through that lower corner again, and Steve David has it all his way at this point.
Yeah, Steve David's got a lot of horsepower. I think the race is going to be for second, third, and fourth. Steve David in that Alberto boat, that's a superior piece of equipment. But I think that race for second, third, and fourth is going to be a knockdown drag-out.
It is indeed, and we're seeing improvement on that 9 boat. John Zimmerman is just driving the sponsons off that thing, and he has really improved since Tri-Cities. He had great speeds in qualifying here, and he's running very nicely now. But look at Brian Perkins. He will not yield. He is going to get right into the thick of it there, and they're pulling up on the Beacon Plumbing.
Now, J. Michael Kelly, that boat right there, he does a good job getting the inside, but if somebody gets in front of him like Steve David, he's got to run in his rough water. Look how that boat's bouncing around because he's running in the Alberto's wake. The boat that's going by him on the outside, look how much clearer his water is.
And Zimmerman is getting an advantage out of it. He has poked his nose across the line in second place and has moved up from 4th to 2nd, and has some advantage coming out of that corner with some boat speed down the back chute. It appears as the Oh Boy Alberto is just plain out of trouble, and it could cruise now now at this point. And, if nothing happens, Pat O'Day is going to win this one.
Something sad happened out there on the course with the Albert League Appliance and Brian Perkins. He's now way behind.
Yeah, he's dropped all the way to dead last, but a great battle for second place out here. Looks like Steve David's going to get the checkered flag without any difficulty, and it comes up on the tower for him. But let's see who winds up in second place, because this is a drag race. 2 white boats, 1 a little pale blue, and it looks like John Zimmerman's got the beans to be able to take second place. A great run for John Zimmerman, and he is driving the Seattle Suntan, and for the Jones Racing Team here in the Seattle area. Good finish for him, and that was a nice piece of driving out there, Chip.
Well, Steve, from the beginning, this was a great start for you. It was a race for second from the get-go.
Yeah, it really was, and boy, congratulations to John Zimmerman and the short propeller boat. Great drive for him, but I had my magic pill here. This is Mike Hansen, former Gold Cup champion, and my crew chief for about 11 or 12 years now, and he ran that thing remote control. All I had to do was push the pedal.
I think a little more than that, but here are the results from yesterday's Heat 1A. Take a look. Oh boy, Alberto, the Seattle Suntan, Miss Beacon Plumbing, Miss DiGiulio, and then the Albert Lee Appliance. Those are the results of your Heat 1A, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box.
Heat 1A of the Albert Lee Cup has been brought to you by GE. Imagination at work. Available at Albert Lee Appliance for over 7 decades.
We are ready to present the trophies and appliances. Some very nice prizes here for Heats 1A and 1B of the 2012 Albert Lee Cup at Seafair. Heat 1A sponsored today by General Electric. Here to make the presentation from GE, Mr. Jeff Cooksey. Jeff?
Thank you. On behalf of GE Appliances, I'd like to congratulate Steve David and the Oh Boy Alberto team for winning the Heat 1A. And on top of that, Steve, this is like Groundhog Day. We did this again last year, right?
Jeff, what a pleasure to be with you again.
And we're also going to present you a brand new refrigerator that we're building in Louisville, Kentucky, bringing jobs back here to good old US of A. How about that?
The refrigerator's made in America. Oh boy, Alberto beef jerky's made in America. It does not get any better than that, Jeff.
What a great fit. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, and
well
thanks
done.
Albert Lee for sponsoring
you
us,
bet,
too.
You bet.
All right. The outside is Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
You bet.